played a Charlie Daniels song, Long-Haired Country Boy. And it was not titled that way in the video. Matter of fact, that was the video that we talked about, the Tom Bukovac, Tal Weikenfield greatest music lesson video ever on YouTube, which I still think it is and will, because of the nature of Tal trying to learn stuff that she was unfamiliar with. A high-level musician that was paying attention. Really something to watch two people of that caliber, learning, having fun together. But it was in that I later would play a Charlie Daniels song, Long-Haired Country Boy. And a few folks asked me to explain a little bit my thought process of navigating through that song. And I have to tell you before we go any further, I didn't have anything on my mind to share with you other than just that song. So the nature of the playing was just off the cuff. I've not gone back to listen to it and watch it. It's nothing that if I played it back to back, it wouldn't be the same, be similar, but nothing the same. But we're going to talk about some of the navigation ideas in the D, drop D position in a song like Long-Haired Country Boy. And to answer a couple questions, yes, I did play with two original members of Hank Williams Sr.'s original band, the Drifting Cowboys. I was a member of the Drifting Cowboys band that toured from 1994 into the 2000s, with one original member that was still alive at that point was Mr. Don Helms, the legendary steel guitar player. Mr. Rivers passed sometime about 96 or 97 on fiddle, and when he passed away, I would go and play fiddle with the Drifting Cowboys, initially playing guitar, starting in 1994. But yes, that's those Drifting Cowboys, Hank Williams Sr.'s original members. So to be a member of the Drifting Cowboys band, a dream come true, and something that I never thought would ever be part of a musical resume. The Drifting Cowboys are considered to be the epitome, the measuring stick of legendary foundational bands, country music bands. I mean, you're talking about Hank Williams and the men that put that sound to the legendary music of Hank Williams, Don Helms' hands playing Your Cheating Heart and all that stuff. My goodness, yes. So to sit and tour the world with them and spent a lot of time, knew Mr. Helms, Uncle Don as I referred to him, and many others did. I knew Uncle Don for quite a while, long before I was a member. And anyway, it's just a big part of my musical history that I'm thankful for. Hard to be proud of something like that, because I was blessed to be a part of that. It was truly a gift, and I'm thankful for that. Precious times. During that time, I had chances to go with many up-and-coming artists that would later become somebody. And I simply could have cared less. I was getting the history of music every single time I was sitting and playing with those men. You're looking at people that played with Ernest Tubb, Hank Snow, Lefty Frizzell, Patsy Cline, Jim Reeves, being produced by Owen Bradley and Chet Atkins, and just it would go on and on and on. Just unbelievable. And I'll tell you somebody I sat down and had an interesting conversation with was James Hetfield of Metallica. He is a big Hank Williams fan, steel guitar enthusiast, by the way, and get to hang with Metallica backstage in I forget when it was. I was a member, I just joined, so somewhere around 95, 96. Jason Newsted was still the bass player. And anyway, after the show, we had backstage passes, me and a young kid that I took, because the parents didn't want to take him to a Metallica concert. And anyway, there was only about, there wasn't even 8 or 9 people backstage at the end of the show. And sure enough, the guys found out that I was playing with the Drifting Cowboys, and it was just so neat to hear people that you would not relate to enjoying traditional country music asking me questions about those men, and Hank Williams, like I knew Hank Williams or something, which I didn't. Hank passed January 1st, 1953, but oh man, gosh, those men, legends. But anyway, let's talk about navigating in that style of song. So that's an outlaw kind of feel, right? We're very familiar with those songs that have that drop D, gritty, 7 flat. You could have a host of, Country Boy Can Survive. Heck, you could even do, Dead or Alive. It just has that swampy southern feel. So that Charlie Daniels thing, I was moving between chords kind of like this. So one of the things I want to establish is that 7 flat. Those are all emphasizing the 7 flat or the C. C. Definitely like a Jerry Reed type feel. So as I was moving from the chord to chord, I would make sure I emphasize that 7 flat, even when I went to the 4 chord. Like, I ain't asking nobody for nothing. Well, maybe I didn't do it there. There it is. Getting the 7 right there. If I can't get it, let's see. I ain't asking nobody for nothing. You're hearing too, there's a lot of percussiveness in my playing. Now, if you and I are playing in a band and we're playing this song, we're probably not attacking it this way as a band. It'd probably be something more like the traditional. People say I'm no good, crazy as me. So I get up in the morning, I get down in the afternoon. Very straightforward. If we're playing in a band, that's how you're typically going to hear it. But I play by myself a lot as a solo artist here. But when I play with the guys down here in the Keys, particularly, or even back home in Nashville and whatever, to play it like Charlie Daniels did, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't care to copy it all the time, and I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just different. That's all. And so having the freedom to do it the way that I feel it, I feel a lot of Jerry Reedish type expression. I surely can't play to the nature of his level. Mr. Jerry Reed, just beyond most people's thought process and physical abilities, but the style of that, the feel. So when I can incorporate that on songs, even songs that don't necessarily would not even necessarily have that. I can surely relate having that into that type of feel into this kind of song because it feels right. So I'm going to make sure I really emphasize that when I do a song like this. So if I'm doing that here in the Keys or I'm doing it back in Nashville, I'll emphasize that to push the guys. If you and I are in a band, I'm going to be pushing you to feel it. I'm getting all that emphasis on those 7 flats and those kind of, I don't want to say, well, they're not runs in your typical sense that you've just heard, you've heard those kind of transitions. So it's something familiar that's kind of cool, and I like to milk that stuff. And I can sing over that and play at the same time, which when I do my own thing and I get my groove, which I'm not set up to loop right now, but I would do something like that probably. People say I'm no good, crazy as me. I get up in the morning, I get kind of like my old tick out. I like to lay around in the shade. I ain't got no money, but I dang sure good at me. I ain't asking nobody for nothing. If I can't get on my mind. If you don't like the way I'm, just leave this long-haired country boy alone. And it just has a nice, just a nice little edge to it. So that's my way of thinking about it, is combining a little Jerry Reed, relying heavily on the 7 flat stuff and emphasizing that where you feel it. Play it again for you right now, and it wouldn't be the same way. It'd be the same kind of feel. And the solo was the same thing. I just add a little bit of expression on the accents. It's just real percussion, real pop, popping sounds, the chicken picket, Relative to application of how you're going to do something or want to do something. For me, I don't have the need to have to play a song exactly the same way every time. I'm not in a tribute band. When I have needed to be close to a performance with consistency, I've done that. When I play with the Drifting Cowboys, obviously we didn't stretch Hank Williams songs to the point of not recognizing what they were or where they came from in the tradition of that sound. As far as the exactness that I've needed to do, at this stage, I don't need to do. So I don't think in terms of, oh my goodness, I just learned that. Next time I play it, make sure I do that again. Sure, there's times where I come across something that's cool and I want to musically regurgitate that so I can get it under my vocabulary of thought process. And then it becomes like a musical Rolodex in your mind. And you get these moments where you're just pulling stuff off the cuff. And that is something I've been training myself to do, is to not be formatic in my playing all the time so I'm predictable. And, listen, I'm just another guitar player in the world. I'm just trying to make some noise that I enjoy. And not get tired of my playing, because don't we all? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of my playing 99% of the time. So, stay inspired to do these things by giving yourself these little different ways of thinking. Nothing wrong with learning an album. And if you have to do that, and that's your job and that's your goal, then good for you. I think that's great. For me, I've done that. I do it every now and then when I need to do session work at a higher level for the producers that I work for back home in Nashville. Sometimes there's things that we're transferring from a recording to another recording that they want exactly what was done before. Now they're just wanting today's version of it, but exactly what it was in terms of notation and feel. So, I absolutely understand when you have to do it, and the repetition of that. Once I record a song like that, I don't go on the road and play it with that artist, so I don't have to keep doing it. So I like to have musical freedom where I can create it, where it makes sense to me, and explore the boundaries that I'm sometimes constricted by, and that would be the nature, more so, not so much the physical ability, but it's really how you think about music. So, that was one thing about being with the Drifting Cowboys that I learned. I would watch Mr. Helms in particular, because his hands were the signature of Hank Williams music. That steel guitar, he was the signature of that man. You can't think of Hank Williams without that sound of that steel guitar. And as time went by, obviously, years and years and years, Hank passes in 1953, and we're still playing Hank Williams music in 2003. So, that's 50 years later. Mr. Helms had performed these songs. How many thousands of times had he played Your Cheating Heart? I always enjoyed the fact that he kept it respectably close to the original, identifiable, but the nature of his soul was being uniquely expressed per performance. In other words, he wasn't robotic to the sound. And he just felt it. You didn't have to think about it. It's just how we played. And, that was neat. Every time I heard him play that song, which I heard him play that song several thousand times, it was beautifully different, but the same. And, listen, we're only talking about making some noise on the guitars here, so enjoy your journey. And I wanted to share this for those who would watch it this far. Thank you for the folks that have jumped on for here. Maybe you're here for just a little while, and maybe this is your cup of tea. Maybe it's not your cup of tea, but if you've made it this far into the video, whatever's next for you, it's my prayer that you enjoy each blessing of the moment that you're given, because it's a fleeting time. It goes by quick. So if we're talking about music and how to play something, look what we're talking about. God bless you. Thank you for spending some time. I guess the Min Kitty, she's missed Daddy. We've been on the boat today. I got me some sun. And I'm going to tell you what, me and this little cat have been all over the United States together, from Tennessee to the Keys. And I sure do love her. I do. She loves music. All right, folks. Grab a hold of somebody, give them a hug, even if it's got 4 legs. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.